Let's talk a little bit about diet. One of the first objections I get from people when I start talking about diet is, no, wait a minute, I didn't have diet as one of my risk factors. It's not one of the things that kind of got me down this path of reflux. And so I don't really understand why you're talking about diet. In response to that, I would share that diet, while it may not have been the thing that got you down this path, diet is a absolutely critical aspect of any sort of healing journey. The other pushback that I get quite often is, I eat super clean. I'm a vegetarian, I'm a vegan, I do keto, I fast, I'm doing such and such reflux diet. And that may very well be, but what I want to do here in the next couple of slides here is just, I want to address both of these questions and help to level set us on this concept of diet. What it is, what it isn't, and how we should be thinking about it. So the reality is eating consistently poor diets can lead to gut health issues. And I think we can all agree with this. I mean, we typically will lump a number of things in like fatty foods or fried foods, refined foods, processed foods, foods that are high in sugar, and we'll typically ring fence it in that way. But I'd like to expand that definition a little bit to include some additional foods. In particular, when you've got a gut that is compromised, there are other foods which may be traditionally considered healthy foods that may not sit well with you. And so really poor diet for me expands to include the foods that may be triggering additional inflammation in your body, and not just those traditionally poor foods such as fast food as an example. Really poor diet can expand to include some traditionally healthy foods, but are just not healthy for you given your health situation. I also want to talk a little bit about some of these diets that people find themselves in. A lot of folks, when they start encountering gut health issues in the first place, will realize that certain foods are causing them issues. And so they may eliminate that food, or even worse, they may eliminate whole categories of foods. I can't eat vegetables, and so I just don't eat vegetables. For one, that is probably the absolute worst thing you could possibly do for yourself. Understanding the importance of fiber in your diet as being the food substrate for probiotic or beneficial bacteria in your gut. If you cut away that food source, probiotics or the healthy bacteria in your gut will essentially die. And no longer will they be able to help you to modulate your immune system. They will not be able to help you to repair your gut lining, and that can lead to things like leaky gut. They will no longer be able to participate in the production of hormones that regulate mood and digestive system, and so on and so forth. I mean, the list of catastrophic issues downstream of not eating vegetables or not eating fiber is tremendous. But also people will find themselves adhering to a particular diet because it may provide some short-term relief from some of their symptoms. In particular, some of these diets, such as a low pH diet or a FODMAP diet, may actually provide short-term relief. But the difficulty can be is if you then take that and then you start to further narrow down the foods that you are willing to or able to eat, that can create some significant challenges for you. The way that you can conceptualize this, and maybe this would be one of the things that you really take away from this video, is the more narrow your food choices, the more narrow your microbiome. So the more narrow your food choices, the less diverse the population of beneficial microbes are in your gut. So really a huge theme to take out of this video is going to be, you want to be working from whatever you can eat to try to expand that out as much as you possibly can to have an incredibly diverse diet, because diversity is king. Diversity of your diet equals diversity in your microbiome. And so while you may be seeing some short-term relief from some of these diets, particularly the more that you restrict the foods that you're able to eat, the more you're going to start to develop long-term issues that will eventually even offset some of the short-term relief that you're seeing and make things significantly worse. And just another challenge for acid reflux sufferers in particular is just this common advice that we get. So, avoid reflux triggers. Well, you can go Google that and you may find 50 to 100 different things that are considered to be reflux triggers. Well, some of those may trigger you and some of them may not. Well, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes which is which. And so what you want to do instead is you want to try to find an approach that will give you a little bit more consistency, a little bit more visibility into what actually may be causing you issues, versus a generic list that's composed of looking at hundreds and thousands of individuals over time. And yes, there are some commonalities that are there, but one person may find that chocolate triggers them, another person may find that it doesn't. And so you really want to be able to hone in on what specifically is causing you issues, as opposed to looking at a generic list of issues that may cause issues across a wide population of people. After about a year of hearing from so many people that had gotten so much similar and poor advice, such as I had, I decided to write How I Cured My Silent Reflux and just really codify everything that I did to heal my reflux. And so, probably the biggest question that I've gotten ever since releasing that book is, what do I eat? And I resisted for a long time creating a cookbook. I'm still resisting creating a cookbook. And so what I've done instead is I've created the Uncooked Book, which I intend to create as a training course, but also to make available as a book and share with you some of my experiences over the last 15 years. Everything is based on research that I've been able to pull from medical journals, scientific articles, studies, meta-studies. And so it tends to be backed by a lot of objective information. So hopefully you find this helpful. Definitely let me know by leaving a review, leaving a comment, and we'll see you on the other side.